Hello everybody, it's the 18th of May today, and I'm looking to do a little bit of work on this, what I call my skinny hornbeam. There is a playlist for this tree, which will be in the description and in the end screen, so you can click on it and go back and see it over the last few years, the works that I've done on it. As always, if you're new to the channel, the soft drinks can, which is now looking a bit bashed and battered, is there for scale. And what I want to do to this tree today is, I'm happy with its trunk development, growth, size, etc. So I'm looking to keep it in trim and promote some back budding. And although this part of the tree looks quite nice with this branch in the back here filling in the back quarter, this branch is actually wired into place at the moment and brought round, and what I want to do is to try and do an approach graft so that it will actually be affixed to fill in this back portion. So to start with, I'm just going to trim back all these wayward shoots like so, just back to one or two leaves with a bud pointing in the direction I want, losing this extension growth, which I don't want, and hopefully, well, that'll produce lots of back budding and ramification, so I'll get a lot more extra leaf area, but smaller. And in a sort of layman's terms, the tree generally has a certain amount of leaf area, and if you remove all the large leaves, it'll produce the same amount of leaf area, but in smaller leaves. Think of it a bit like replacing one large solar panel with two smaller, possibly even more efficient solar panels. So anyway, I'll shut up and just go around and do all this trimming. Some of them haven't grown out yet, and they'll need trimming individually as they pop. But yeah, I'll shut up now. Okay, so that's trimmed most of the tree back, keeping it back to this overall sort of shape and size of the canopy. What I don't want is all this long extension growth coming right out. I'm not trying to force a lot of development of thickening of trunk or anything like that. What I want is to get these branches more ramified. I'm going to have to keep a close eye on it, because it's got quite a lot of wire still on the tree, so I need to keep an eye on that, ready to remove it if necessary. And as I said, let me just show you the top here in particular. They seem to have a lot of these little buds that are just now popping, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that as well, and as they start to extend, go around again and again, just chopping back to remove that extra growth, promote that back budding. It is, as I say, the 18th of May, and in other years I might well have been going to do this approach graft earlier in the season to get as maximum length of time, but well, we've had some cold, miserable, wet, horrible weather, so and quite a lot of frosts, so that's put me off doing that. But I think now we can get away with it, and I'm going to upload this straight away as a bit of a break from the monotony of me just uploading repotting videos. If you're enjoying them, don't worry, there are still some more of those to come. So you saw I deliberately didn't chop this one back. I want it to continue extending. So first thing I'm going to do is remove this piece of wire that's been on there, and that should have set by now. Yes, more or less. It means that I'm not going to have to put a lot of strain onto this branch to get it to be where I want it to be, which is around about there. So I'm going to have to remove this that's growing there. Okay, so that's more or less where I want it to be, with the branch coming out here. So mark that with my thumb for now. Okay, going to move you in a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm simply taking my grafting knife and I'm going to cut a channel in the bark, just where I made a mark with my thumbnail. That the branch can sit into. As I say, this is called an approach graft. I know some people for this procedure might do a thread graft, which is where you drill a hole through the tree and then thread a branch through it. But actually hawthorn and beech is another. They have a quite a chunky bud, which means you have to drill quite a large hole through for the buds to fit through without being pushed off, and that leaves a lot of room for infection to set in, and also, what am I trying to say? Oh, and also it takes a long time for the hole to fill in, for the graft to become established. So I'm going to have to sharpen my knife at some point. Should have done it before I started this. So I will continue with this, and then we'll come back in a minute, so as not to bore you. Okay, so I've cut a sizable kind of slot, I guess, for want of a better term, and then I'm going to take off this branch. Is what I'm going to do, because it's right where I want the tree to fit into the slot, as it were, and I'm going to slightly wound the back of the branch where it's going to go into that slot. Just scrape some of the bark away, and then I'm simply going to wrap it with grafting tape, if I can persuade the grafting tape to behave itself, and not keep snapping every 2 seconds. Like so. Okay. Fiddly operation with all these other branches around. Let's try and keep that branch in nice and tight. I'm sure you're finding an interesting shot of the back of my hand. I'm very sorry about that. But we're getting there. That's better. Now it's cooperating. That branch is staying in nicely and tightly into that slot. And hopefully, as it continues to swell and grow, it will graft itself in. There we go. So, and then that branch will need to be just wired up right. In fact, I might just even do that now. Just wrap the wire around there. I'm actually going to pull that piece back slightly using this piece of wire, just even more so to ensure that it stays in that slot nicely. And then a loose wrapping, like so. As cockamamie a piece of wiring as you're ever likely to see, but it's got the job done. I'm not even going to cut off this long piece, save that for future use. And there we go, there's the tree with its low branch in place at the back. Much better, and we're going to keep an eye on that, and I'm going to keep an eye on that, and we'll report back at the end of the year, beginning of next year, when it can be cut off at this point, and at this point leaving the branch in place where I want it. I've had good success with this method. I'm going to do it on a larch tree as well, and we'll see how that one gets on. But so yeah, there we are, that tree now. I'm going to let this branch grow out and thicken up, swell. There's a 360, and that'll help fill in this back area, and I might even try and get another branch to grow this year here, which I haven't trimmed, to come up and maybe graft one into this point, but for now I'm happy with that. So drop a comment in the box below, let me know what you think. As I say, we'll be back to some more repotting videos after this one, so if you've enjoyed them, let me know, and thank you so much for watching. It is much appreciated. Please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.